If you want to improve your life meaningfully and stop sabotaging yourself by using pornography, you should know that sporadic actions, even big actions, rarely add up to anything real in the long term. Conversely, small, easy tweaks that you do consistently can create massive positive changes over time. Here are 30 little habits that have made the biggest difference for me in long-term PMO sobriety, as well as focus, productivity, relationships, and well-being. Practice selective ignorance. You don't need to know all the news. You don't need to keep up with the YouTuber or celebrity drama. Unless it directly impacts your life, it's going to make a difference in how you act in a positive way. Turn it off. Keep your phone out of the bathroom, the bedroom, and anywhere else that tends to lead to dopamine diving. If the task is going to take less than a few minutes to do it immediately when it occurs to you. Your future self will thank you for this. Practice open honesty about your recovery from porn use somewhere in your life. It doesn't have to be with people who know you personally. At least be out there on an online anonymous forum, telling your story, being honest and open with people, and getting their perspective on your situation. It helps immensely to not feel alone in this journey. Isolation is the friend, it's the feeding ground of addiction, so don't isolate yourself. One excellent option for this is to join the rebooter support and discussion group that I run. We have 3 meetings weekly, group video and audio meetings, where we get to share what each of us are going through, make healing-focused friendships, hold each other accountable, and just have a team on a journey that is so hard to do alone. Check that out in the link below in the link tree if you're interested. Deactivate notifications for anything that you don't actually need to know about right away. This makes a huge difference in your ability to stay focused on what's actually important. Better yet, keep your phone on Do Not Disturb at all times, like I do. You can change your settings so that phone calls just from known callers can make it through, which is how I have it set up. Plan everything that you're going to do the following day, the night before, and write it out. This means all your scheduled meetings and time-bound things, and also the important tasks that you want to achieve. This way, when you wake up, you know exactly what your mission is. You don't have to waste any time feeling lost or aimless. Clean as you go, whether you're cooking or doing a home improvement project or working on papers, whatever it is. Clean as you go so that your space remains organized, and when you're done doing the thing, it doesn't take much more to do the last of the cleaning. Whatever you're doing, there's almost always a way to make it fun. Find it, whether you're standing in line at the DMV or you're working on the railroad, you're mining coal. I've worked shitty jobs, and me and my coworkers, we found a way to still make it fun. Celebrate every step forward. We gain new habits not just through repetition, but through emotion. If we feel good when we're doing something, we're going to instinctively want to come back and keep doing that thing. So give yourself permission to celebrate all those little tiny steps forward. Feel good, and you're going to change much more effectively than through repetition or self-flagellation. This one comes from the book Tiny Habits, by the way, which I highly recommend. Practice really listening to people. When they're speaking to you, try to focus on your curiosity about who they are and what they have to say, what their lived experience is, rather than thinking mostly about what you're going to say next, how you are going to respond, how you are going to make yourself and your opinions known. Not only is it a great way to learn by listening more than you speak, but it helps people feel really seen. And when they feel that way, they want to be around you more often. Oh boy, okay. Come on, make it through. Oh, rejected. Ooh, yeah. Instead of planning to be on time, plan to be early, wherever and everywhere you go. This way, you're going to be less anxious, people are going to trust you more because you're always on time or early, and you'll be prepared for unexpected delays. Do something active that takes a little brain while doing something passive that takes big brain. What I mean by this is multitask. And I know multitasking has gotten a bit of a bad rap in recent years, but this particular method of multitasking works quite well for me. Do something physically active that doesn't take much concentration, like gardening, while doing something more physically passive that does take that concentration, like learning a new language or listening to an audiobook, or stretching while listening to a class lecture. Set yourself up for success in the mornings by laying out your clothes and everything else you're going to need the night before. If something is hard, but you know exactly what needs to be done, do not hesitate. No matter what you do, don't hesitate, just get it done. The sooner you can stop procrastinating and dive right in, the sooner you'll be feeling relief and pride in yourself. The longer you wait, the more anxious you'll become, and the less likely it is that you're actually going to do it. Cold water exposure is a great way to practice this skill. Write the important things down in obvious places. Humans are fickle, forgetful creatures, okay? If there's some lesson or value or habit you want to be sure to remember, create reminders about it in your environment. When you feel bad and in need of escapism, run through the acronym HALT the BS, which stands for hungry, angry, lonely, tired, bored, or stressed. And if you're feeling any of those things, try to address it directly in a healthy way, and you'll probably find that urge, it's gone. Have a simple plan for how you're going to respond when the urge to PMO strikes. If you have no idea what you're going to do in that moment, when 90% of your brain is just yelling out for satisfaction, that remaining 10% is very unlikely to be able to decide on a course of action, alternative to using, and take action. But if you have a simple plan that you've mapped out and practiced beforehand, you're much more likely to actually do that thing that will help. It can be something as simple as doing a headstand or handstand against the wall, as inversions like this have been shown to have a reset effect on your emotional state, or splash some cold water on your face, as cold water exposure and the diving reflex also has that emotional reset function. Move your body regularly. Standing in the office setting is not necessarily better than sitting if you're either standing still all day or sitting still all day, but moving is better. Transition between sitting and standing frequently. Stretch and jump around. Take 30-second breaks and move your body. Set up prompts to do little bits of exercise all around you in your home. Put a sticky note on the bathroom door that reminds you to do 5 push-ups every time you leave the bathroom, or put a pull-up bar in the doorway to your office, and every time you go through that doorway, do a few pull-ups. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good and done. Contrary to popular belief, quantity is more important than quality in many circumstances. As long as you're approaching quantity with a growth mindset, you're trying to improve bit by bit every time that you do that thing, quantity will more often lead you to success than focusing too much on quality. Whenever you notice yourself start to worry too much about what people will think of you if you do X, Y, or Z, bring your focus back to your values. Values are everything, and they're a much firmer foundation than the opinions of other people. Don't try to fight the current unless it's a fight that you're willing to dedicate your life to. One example of this is when I was going bald, which started happening around 17 or 18 years old, much earlier than I was prepared for it to happen. And I could have fought it, I could have gotten prescribed medications or put topical creams on or had some alternative therapies done, but instead I decided I'm just going to accept what nature has in mind for me here and embrace it and shave my head clean. And you know what? Life went on, and being bald hasn't stopped me from accomplishing any of the things that I wanted to do. Not that I've accomplished everything that I want to do, but being bald wasn't what got in my way. Don't force yourself to live in a way that you cannot stand deep inside in your soul just for something external like the opinions or respect of others or money. In general, get rid of things that you haven't used for a year or more. Clutter, it's like iron shackles around your ankles. It makes just living in your own space so much more difficult. And it's worth the freedom from clutter to occasionally have to buy or borrow something that, yeah, you did get rid of a couple of years ago and now you need. Pay your debts. And I follow this rule generally in my life because I hate to owe anything, even to institutions like banks. But here I mean specifically pay your debts to friends and family and be proactive about it. It might be something small, maybe you had lunch together and it ended up on their card. You said that you would pay them back later. And even if they don't end up reminding you, they probably remember. And if you don't actually end up paying them, it will affect their perception of you. And maybe your perception of yourself. So just don't be that guy. Pay back your debts. Address conflicts directly. Just talk to people. A little awkwardness is much better than years of resentment or distancing or lost relationships because you didn't just address what was on both of your minds and hearts. Assume you don't know the full picture about anything. We are just solo, fleshy, fallible humans with our own singular perspectives and experiences that don't encompass all of reality. Keep your mind open to information and opinions that's at odds with what you think you know, that makes you uncomfortable, that clashes with your own perspective of the world and of reality. Act with confidence, even when you're not confident about what you're about to do. That may seem at odds with the last one, but they actually go hand in hand because you're going to learn so much more and progress so much farther by taking confident, bold action and learning from that rather than sitting on the sidelines. And keep in mind I said bold action, not reckless action. Make eye contact with strangers and say hi. In a world where we all have our own smartphones, it's very easy to stay confined in our own headphone-protected techno bubbles, but easy is a killer. Just this simple eye contact and hi will help you keep your social confidence and your social skills up. Was that 30? If not, well, in my defense, I wasn't really counting. Hope you got some wisdom from this video, and I really want you to live an amazing porn-free life. So I'm giving my book, Whack, Addicted to Internet Porn, away for free as a PDF. Link is in the description. Did I get you? Hey, as long as you're still here, go ahead and press some of the buttons below this video. Let me know what they do. And no matter what you do, do not ever go